Hello everyone, this is Gw2 speaking in the video about irregulars and skirmishers. To explain this concept I need to talk a bit about Zerg fights. In Zergs we've got two sides which clash with each other. We call it fronts. They have a clearly designated front line and a back line. Look at the line, the front is located more or less here. The squishes will usually be located behind the front, while those who charge at the front. What heavies do is usually pierce the front to get to the back line. Then the push happens, crowd control fly, and people die. And this works perfectly in larger scale fights and in organized guilds. But this will not work in skirmishing situations in World vs World roaming. Consider the fight which starts now. The front has been clearly visible for a while, but it will slowly deteriorate and stop to exist. What you see here is more or less dogfighting. We try to focus targets, but everyone tries to survive, and the fronts have mixed. The backline is not set, it will move. Now, because of a portal, Gw2 is on the front line, and me and Alaric are on the backline. Two downed opponents, one stompable. Note that this type of fighting differs a lot from the courtyard in SPVP, or from the guild versus guild, or from the Zerg fights. This is irregular fighting, skirmishers. There are no fronts, we are between them and we create opportunistic fronts. The one who is under attack disengages and tries to drop aggro. When there is an opportunity to kill someone, we attack that particular person and try to mass them over there, lay a lot of crowd controls and damage. Then disperse again. This makes it extremely difficult for the people who are used to fight in fronts to select a target and stick to it. Irregular fighting requires a lot of space, but it doesn't require TeamSpeak. What it does require, however, everyone needs to look after each other. On top of that, the combat awareness, whom to help, where to go, how to react, needs to be very high. As we are almost never together and as we don't use TeamSpeak a lot, it is very hard to coordinate any type of boon sharing. Our defense is spatial awareness and constant moving. This means we are able to attack the weakest targets, the squishies, the underlevels, the new players, while dispersing and not giving opponents any opportunity to select a target. Because we don't clash with them, we can afford very high damage builds. But this works only if we have space to maneuver. Look at this fight. Our camp is under attack by drag cars. Our opponents are a pug, they are not coordinated at all. They have focused on the warrior, assuming that this is the easiest target. We selected an underleveled elementalist. If you watch this fight, our warrior is kiting most of the fight, he's not actually fighting. Enemies are trying to catch the warrior, immobilize, kill him, whatever, while me and T focus on everything ranged which is able to actually stop the warrior from escaping. Enemy guardian and the warrior are ignored until the end. What we focused are high damage squishy classes. If enemy changed target, for example to me or to T, the one who was under attack would be the kiting one. In short, this is a very reactive play. The one who is under attack needs to avoid the damage and aggro, while the others try to support the one who is under attack by boons, crowd controls. In short, you've got two roles. Those who are under attack, who need to survive and kite, and those who are not under attack, who are to support and kill. Enemies didn't have a bad party composition. They should have killed us, but to do that they would have to split into two designated groups. They should support Necromancer, Ranger and Elementalist and keep close to them to force us to attack them. I mean, they were 5, we were 3, and I don't have infinite reflects. If they hit the veil and kind of ignored us, trying to support their own people, we would have to either drop the veil or attack them. If they added one thief into the party, especially an immobilize high damage thief, it would also be a problem for us, because immobilizes and crowd control damages the skirmishing options. What we always want to do is to try to surround enemies, so they don't have any way to push us, because then whatever side they go after, someone is left behind so we can focus them. When we manage to group them tightly together, we will swoop in like vultures and unleash all possible crowd control and damage on them. When the crowd control starts to expire, we will simply disengage. Note once again that what we are doing is possible only because we have a lot of crowd controls. Okay, you might say, but this will work only against a pug. No proper roaming group will fall like this. And here I respectfully disagree because of the greatest change in Guild Wars 2, the stability change. This video comes very short after a stability change, so nobody adapted to new meta yet. This shows why stability change was needed perfectly. Enemies have a close range, push, water field blasting composition, and an engineer. Note, NG put supply crate far away from the team because he thought we will fight there as backline. This is the front push thinking. What we did is open with interrupt to not let them stack mites, focus on elementalist to kill him ASAP, and disperse trying to break any possible front. Important thing, look how this fight looks like. We are dancing around them, kiting them like satellites, but whenever crowd control appears, we push them, merge at their position, apply as much damage as we can, and split again. Now, before you say they suck, think about one thing. Why is it so easy for us? Because they don't suck. Earlier on, what they would have done is apply stability and be immune to crowd controls. The guilds never had to watch enemy crowd controls, because the stability was reapplied after every boon shatter. Now I simply need to see an opening to apply crowd control. They can't only push, now they need to ask a question. Do we go back there and res a fallen ally, or do we push forward, risking the death of that ally? When they were a force which was blasting the fields all the time, they were invincible from our point of view. Between retaliation and stability, nothing high damage light classes would do. Now we have a chance, and they need to not only watch the cooldowns, but also control the fight. So now it is possible for a skilled, smaller amount of people to defeat a larger, coordinated, not unskilled group of people. Earlier on, it was impossible. Therefore, stability change was absolutely needed. Now, one last thing I haven't talked about in terms of irregular gameplay is about fight selection and location selection. This video shows me and Drew against 3 heavies. Obviously, they want to fight us on the bridge, because on the bridge I cannot maneuver. Obviously, I put a portal at the stairs and run up. That way I have managed to create a safe spot to escape to when it gets very bad, and we moved a fight to the location which is much better for us. Now, Drew is playing some kind of interrupt warrior hybrid. I play the Shatter Phantasm build. In short, we have really high damage, but looking at our opponents, you don't see it. This is something absolutely normal. They play in tight formation. This means they can share the boons, the might, the stability, the protection. We can't rely on those boons, so we have to go very glassy. We have to pierce not only the armor, vitality and stuff, we also have to pierce the AoE healing from the Guardian. This also means they can make a lot of mistakes. Note that enemy is not dodging at all. If I get hit once or twice, or I press the portal too late, I am dead. One important fact, we wouldn't be able to win this fight ever without the stability change. And second, we wouldn't be able to win unless I wasn't sinister. If you look at it, most damage they get from us are from the conditions, because Aegis and the shields and blocks and everything. But condition damage alone is not enough to be able to pierce their defenses. This is why I had to go shatter. With my constant mobility I can kite enemies and force them to move after me. Fun fact, if they had 1 ranger, or 1 thief, or 1 mesmer, I am not sure we would win. If they used immobilizers, not only stuns, I think we would have lost. To sum up, irregular gameplay is the one when you are not using the fronts and pushes, like in normal World vs. World. The advantages are that enemy is not able to push in any particular direction. The disadvantages, it is much harder to share boons, and everyone needs to be self-sufficient, self-reliant, and everyone needs to be able to have some form of battle awareness. Pushes are better in choke points. Skirmishing when a lot of open space is present. Pushes are better in soldier. Skirmishing in sinister or berserker. So, thank you for watching, Irregulars out.